best short hairstyles that add volume to thinning hair after 60. Ever looked in the mirror and thought, where did all my hair go? And why does this cut make it worse? Because same. Some short hairstyles were supposed to help, but instead of volume, they gave us helmet head. Or worse, they highlighted every thinning patch like a spotlight. The truth? After 60, it's not just about having less hair. It's about having less margin for error. One wrong shape, and suddenly your whole face looks tired, flat, off. But you're not here to fight your hair. You're here to work with it, to bring out softness, lift, and that feeling of, oh, there I am. That's why in this video, I'm breaking down 6 of the best short hairstyles for women with thinning hair. Styles that actually create volume where you need it, hide where you don't, and move with you like they were built for this chapter of life. The goal isn't big hair, it's smart hair. And once you see the cut in part 3, you might wonder why no one told you sooner. Let's get started. Style number 1. Layered pixie with feathered crown. They used to say pixie cuts were too bold for older women. Too edgy, too masculine, too much. Guess what? For thinning hair after 60, the layered pixie with a feathered crown might be the smartest move you'll ever make. Here's why. It's short, yes, but not shapeless. The secret's in the layers. We're not talking choppy or spiky. We're talking soft, feathery texture at the crown, angled just right to build natural height. Not the kind you tease with a comb and hairspray into submission. The kind that moves, lifts, and breathes. And because the sides stay slightly longer, especially around the ears and nape, the cut avoids that dreaded shrinking head look. You know the one. Like your hair's retreating from your face in defeat. I had a friend, smart, chic, 68, who swore she couldn't pull off short hair. Until she tried this cut. She walked into brunch the next week and someone actually said, "Did you do something to your skin?" Nope. Just a new pixie with volume in the right places. The best part? It makes your scalp look fuller without covering it. It doesn't hide your hair loss. It outsmarts it. And let's be honest, at this point in life, we don't want more hair. We want more shape. If you've ever looked at a photo of yourself and thought, why does my face look so long and tired? Chances are it wasn't your face. It was the flatness on top. The feathered pixie fixes that. Up next, a bob that works magic at the back without adding width at the cheeks. Style number 2. Soft stacked bob with tapered nape. Picture this. You're walking down the street, and from behind, someone's hair looks perfectly lifted, like it's floating just slightly above the neck, gently curving inward, elegant but not stiff. You expect some 30-something influencer when they turn around, and instead, it's a woman in her late 60s with a knowing smile and a better haircut than anyone else on the block. That, my friend, is the soft, stacked bob with a tapered nape. And if you've got thinning hair, especially at the crown or in the back, this might be the best-kept secret no one told you about. Let's talk shape. Unlike the blunt bob, which can fall flat and wide, the stacked bob builds gradual volume at the back of your head using short, subtle layers that gently rise as they move upward. That stack is what gives it its signature lift. It adds fullness without puffiness, structure without severity. But here's where the real trick comes in, the tapered nape. By keeping the hair close to the neck, the cut avoids that heavy, boxy shape that so many short styles fall into. Instead, it creates a natural slope, like your hair is effortlessly following the contours of your head. And for thinning hair, that creates the illusion of more. More movement, more scalp coverage, more elegance. I had a client once, mid-70s, classy, lipstick always perfect, who'd worn the same straight bob for 12 years. It sat flat, lifeless, safe, she said, but also forgettable. We gave her a soft, stacked version with just enough curve in the back. The next week, her bridge group didn't recognize her, but in the best way. What makes this cut so great for women over 60 is that it doesn't fight your hair texture, it uses it. Even fine, limp hair can hold shape with this style because the layers do the lifting work for you. No teasing, no sticky volumizing mousse required, just smart geometry. And let's not forget, this cut works from all angles. From the front, you get that classic bob softness that frames the face. From the side, there's a beautiful sloping line that looks intentional, never severe. And from the back, that's where the stacked magic quietly does its job. So if you've ever looked at your haircut and thought, it's fine, but it doesn't do anything, this one might surprise you. Because a stacked bob isn't flashy. It's quietly engineered to flatter. Next up, a cut that adds lift without length and brings a little rock and roll energy to fine hair without going overboard. Style number 3. Short shag with wispy bangs. We've been told bangs are risky after 60, that they emphasize wrinkles or make us look like we're trying too hard. But here's the twist. Wispy bangs, when paired with the right shag cut, don't hide your age. They highlight your energy. Let's talk about the short shag with wispy bangs, a cut that's all about lightness, movement, and strategic texture. It doesn't try to fake thickness. It plays with what you've got and gives it personality. This isn't the shag from the 70s with sky-high feathering and aquanet attitude. This is a softer, more lived-in version. Think choppy ends, light layering that doesn't overwhelm, and airy bangs that skim the brows without screaming for attention. The beauty of this style is how well it works with thinning hair, especially around the crown or temples. Those fine layers catch light and create the illusion of volume where flatness usually lives. And because the cut is intentionally undone, you never have to fight to keep it polished. Messy is the look. One of my clients, 62, always stylish, always self-deprecating, told me her hair felt tired. Not damaged, not broken, just tired. We gave her a short shag with a few layers around the crown and temples, plus bangs that broke up the forehead just enough. The next time I saw her, she said, "I feel like my hair has ideas again." That's what a good shag does. It brings the spark back. Even better, it takes pressure off the face. When you've got sharp angles or features that have shifted a bit with time, haven't we all? This cut softens the frame without swallowing your expression. And bangs? They don't hide wrinkles. They break the visual monotony. That's a good thing. You don't need a full fringe. Just a few strategically placed wisps can redirect attention to your eyes instead of the height or lack of it on your head. And let's not forget the emotional effect. When your hair has a little bounce, a little swing, so do you. That matters. Now, fair warning, a shag isn't for everyone. If you want precise, crisp lines, this isn't it. But if your hair's thinning and you're tired of safe hair that just lies there, this style might just be the rebellion you didn't know you needed. Next, we're flipping things a little sideways, literally. A cut with subtle drama that lifts from one side, slims the face, and surprises you with how much volume it creates, without even trying. Style number 4, textured crop with side volume. Some women chase volume at the crown. Me? I chased it straight into a style that made my head look like a mushroom. Look, not every lift has to go up. Sometimes, what thinning hair really needs is side volume. Enter the textured crop with side volume. A short, slightly offbeat cut that says, I'm not here to blend in, but I'm not trying too hard either. The secret to this style? Asymmetry. One side is gently fuller, layered to push just a little outward while the other stays closer to the face. It's subtle, not cartoonish, but the visual effect? Big difference. That lateral lift draws attention away from the top of the head, which, let's be honest, may not have much going on up there anymore, and redirects it to the cheekbones and jawline. Translation: it creates structure without height, shape without effort. A lot of women avoid this kind of cut because it's not classic. But let's pause and ask, classic for who? If a perfectly balanced bob is making your hair look limp, why keep playing by the same rules? This crop doesn't care about rules. It's got choppy texture, a slightly tousled finish, and just enough messiness to look intentional. The key is where the volume goes. Not on top, not at the back, but to the side. It balances thinning at the crown by widening the silhouette a little, like shifting the spotlight to your best angles. One client, 64, sharp dresser, serious Zoom presence, told me she wanted a style that said, "Still got fire," not "trying to keep up." We gave her this cut with a slight side sweep and a bit of wax to enhance texture. The next day she said, "I wore earrings again, big ones." That's the kind of energy we're talking about. Onus. This cut takes 5 minutes to style max. A little product, a little scrunch, and you're out the door. No round brush gymnastics, no prayers to the volume gods, just shape. And here's what most women don't expect. Side volume visually narrows a wide face, but also softens sharper features. It plays both sides, literally. So if you're over cuts that puff up like soufflés and fall flat by lunch, this one might be your new go-to. It's bold but wearable, balanced but unexpected. And it works with thinning hair, not against it. Coming up, a tapered style with one very deliberate detail that pulls focus exactly where you want it, your eyes. Style number 5, tapered cut with long side-swept bangs. She looked in the mirror, tilted her head, and said, "I used to have cheekbones." Not in a sad way, just honest, like so many of us, quietly wondering when our features started fading into the background. And no, it's not just the years, it's the hair. Specifically, it's the kind of cut that pulls everything down and back, exposing a softening jawline, flattening the forehead, and erasing the structure that used to frame your expression. That's why I love the tapered cut with long side-swept bangs, because sometimes what you need isn't more volume, it's direction. And this cut gives your face a lift without touching a single serum. Let's break it down. The back is tapered close to the nape, so it hugs the neck and slims the profile. But the real hero? Those long diagonal bangs that sweep across the forehead and land softly at the cheekbone. They draw the eye sideways and upward, creating instant movement and visual lift. Like pulling a curtain back just enough to let the light in. For thinning hair, this cut is a quiet powerhouse. By keeping the overall shape close and sculpted, it avoids the puff and deflate cycle so many volumizing cuts fall into, and the bangs, especially when blended into soft side layers, create the illusion of fullness around the temples, where many of us first start seeing that sneaky hair loss. It's also deeply flattering for mature features. The slanted fringe softens a lined forehead without hiding it, and the way it grazes the cheek draws attention to your eyes instead of your hairline. That's where connection happens. That's what people remember. I had a client, 70, ex-dancer, sharp as ever, who told me, "My face used to feel expressive. Now it just feels tired." We gave her this cut. The next week, she wore red lipstick again. Not because of the hair exactly, but because the cut gave her shape and the shape gave her confidence. And sometimes that's all it takes. What I love about this style is how natural it feels. It doesn't shout, "I'm trying something new." It whispers, "I've still got style, and I know how to use it." So if you're not looking for something wild, but you do want something that makes your face feel more present, this might be your match. And now, we've saved something playful for last. A modern, slightly edgy pixie bob hybrid that breaks all the rules and still works wonders for thinning hair. Style number 6, asymmetrical pixie bob hybrid. Ever tried on a haircut and thought, "Why does this feel more like me than anything has in years?" That's the effect of the asymmetrical pixie bob hybrid, a cut that breaks the symmetry, bends the rules, and somehow brings your face into focus. It sounds complicated, but the concept is simple. One side is slightly longer, softly sweeping across the cheekbone. The other is cleaner, tighter to the head. The back is stacked just enough to create a subtle lift, not a hard line, while the top layers are light, airy, and slightly tousled. The overall shape? Angular in theory, but fluid in motion. And for thinning hair, it's a blessing in disguise, because asymmetry confuses the eye in the best way. Instead of noticing a thinning part or sparse temples, people notice shape, movement, boldness, and just enough mystery to make them look twice. I had a client, 66, graphic designer, wore black like it was a second skin, who said she was bored with her hair. Not disappointed, just over it. We tried this hybrid cut on her. The next time she came in, she said, "I feel like my haircut speaks before I do, and it's saying something interesting." That's the twist no one expects after 60. You don't have to pick safe or trendy. You can have both. This cut blends the classic polish of a bob with the energy and edge of a pixie. And by leaving the asymmetry soft, not sharp, it stays wearable, elegant, and fully age-appropriate without being predictable. What makes it so volumizing? Two things: layered asymmetry and strategic imbalance. The longer side adds movement and flow, while the shorter side keeps it structured and lightweight. No heavy sides pulling the face down. No flat crown dragging your profile into invisibility. It's a balancing act that favors lift over length and attitude over effort. If you've been feeling like your hair is fine but forgettable, this is the cut that changes the story. It doesn't try to recreate your old look. It creates a new one, built for now. And that's the perfect lead-in to our final thought. Because this journey wasn't just about haircuts. It was about feeling seen, lifted, and quietly powerful again. Let's wrap this up. Thinning hair doesn't mean fading away. It just means you need a haircut with intention. We've spent years trying to make the most of what we have, brushing forward, fluffing up, buying bottles that promise volume and deliver humidity. But the truth is, when the shape is wrong, nothing helps. And when the shape is right, you don't need much else. These 6 short hairstyles weren't about chasing youth. They were about clarity, about lifting your face, and maybe lifting your energy while we're at it. They were about finding the version of you that feels most like you, not the girl from 20 years ago, but the woman today who deserves to take up space beautifully. So if one of these cuts made you curious, that's your cue. Not to be someone else, but to reclaim the mirror, because the goal isn't more hair, the goal is more you. Which one spoke to you most? Let me know below. I'd love to hear which one's calling your name.